Have you ever wondered how one man could forge an empire that spanned from the Pacific Ocean to the heart of Europe? This is the tale of Genghis Khan, a man whose birth and early life were as unusual as the empire he would later command. Genghis Khan was born in the 12th century in the harsh and unforgiving steppes of Mongolia. His birth was marked by an omen, a sign of a future leader. Legend tells us that he came into the world clutching a blood clot in his tiny fist. This uncommon occurrence was seen as a prophecy, a prediction of his destined greatness, his fate to rule and conquer. But the path to greatness was not an easy one. Genghis Khan, originally named Temujin, was raised in a nomadic Mongolian tribe. The tribe was a part of a society that was constantly on the move, living under the vast, unending sky, surviving in a landscape that was as brutal as it was beautiful. They were a people shaped by the elements and by the constant threat of warfare. The Mongolian steppes were a place where survival was the primary concern. The tribes were frequently at war with each other, fighting for resources, for territory, for supremacy. Young Temujin was a part of this world, and it was here, in these harsh conditions, that he began to understand the intricacies of power, the necessity of unity, and the importance of strength. These were lessons that would serve him well in the years to come. From this world of nomadic tribes and constant warfare, a leader emerged. A leader who was marked at birth by an unusual sign, who was shaped by the harsh realities of his environment, and who would go on to change the course of history. This was the start of the life of Genghis Khan, a life that would be marked by conquest, by revolution, and by an enduring legacy. From these humble and challenging beginnings, a leader was born who would change the course of history. How does a young nomad, living on the harsh Mongolian steppe, rise to become one of the most powerful leaders in history? This question brings us to the extraordinary rise to power of Genghis Khan. Born as Temujin, our protagonist spent his early years learning the hard ways of the steppe. Life was brutal, but it was this very brutality that shaped him into a formidable warrior. His courage and skill in battle were undeniable, but it was his strategic mind that set him apart. Temujin understood that power lay not just in strength, but in unity, a concept that was foreign to the warring tribes of Mongolia. In a society where tribes were constantly at odds, Temujin began to build alliances. With each alliance, his influence grew, and so did his army. But these weren't just alliances of convenience. Temujin treated his allies with respect and loyalty, a novel approach that won him the trust and loyalty of even his former enemies. But the rise of Genghis Khan was not just a tale of alliances and diplomacy. His innovative military strategies played a crucial role in his ascent. He developed a highly mobile and flexible military structure, with light cavalry that could strike swiftly and retreat just as quickly. He also adopted new technologies, like the composite bow, which gave his forces a decisive advantage on the battlefield. With these tools at his disposal, Temujin began the monumental task of unifying the Mongolian tribes. It was a long and bloody process, but by the year 1206, Temujin had done what no one before him had achieved. He united the Mongolian tribes under a single banner. And it was at this moment that he took the title of Genghis Khan, the universal ruler. With the Mongolian tribes united under his rule, Genghis Khan was ready to embark on a campaign of conquest that would shock the world. What makes a conqueror feared and respected in equal measure? Genghis Khan, the name alone evokes images of horse-mounted warriors sweeping across vast landscapes. His was a reign marked by a paradoxical blend of ruthless conquest and progressive governance. Yet as we delve into his conquests, we find a figure who was as shrewd and calculated as he was brutal. When we talk about Genghis Khan's conquests, we're not just talking about the sheer scale, which was immense, but also how he executed them. He was known for his ruthless tactics, a reputation that was well-deserved. Entire civilizations were wiped off the map, their once thriving cities reduced to rubble and ashes. It's said that the Tigris River ran black with the ink from countless books thrown into the water during the siege of Nishapur. But his conquests were not purely about destruction. There was a method to his madness. Genghis Khan was a master of psychological warfare. He would often send a small force to attack a city, only to have them retreat, luring the defenders into a trap where the bulk of his army lay in wait. His reputation for brutality was also a weapon, often leading to cities surrendering without a fight. So terrified were they of his wrath. Yet amid this devastation, Genghis Khan showed an unexpected side. He valued knowledge and skill, regardless of its source. Engineers, artisans, and scholars were spared during his conquests. These individuals were integrated into his empire, their skills and expertise harnessed for the Mongol cause. This policy was not just about mercy, it was a strategic move to strengthen his empire and diversify its capabilities. Genghis Khan was a paradox. He was a ruthless conqueror, yes, but also a strategic leader who understood the value of knowledge and skill. His tactics, as brutal as they were driven by a deep understanding of warfare and empire building. Through a combination of fear, respect, and strategic brutality, Genghis Khan carved out an empire that stretched across continents. Was Genghis Khan merely a ruthless conqueror, or was there more to his rule than meets the eye? For all the tales of his viciousness, it's easy to overlook the fact that Genghis Khan was a revolutionary ruler in many respects. His administration of his vast empire was marked by a keen understanding of governance and a willingness to adapt and innovate. One of the pillars of his rule was his promotion of trade. He understood that the prosperity of his empire hinged on vibrant commercial activity. To this end, he established the Silk Road, a network of trade routes that connected Europe, the Middle East, and Asia. This was not just a trade route, it was a superhighway of ideas, goods, and culture that bridged the East and West. But it wasn't just about trade. Genghis Khan also understood the importance of communication. He created a postal system, known as the Yam, which was a system of relay stations that stretched across his empire. This allowed messages and goods to be transported swiftly and efficiently across vast distances. This was a revolutionary idea at the time and played a crucial role in the administration of his empire. Genghis Khan also had a profound impact on the Mongolian language. He introduced a written script, which was a significant step forward in the preservation and proliferation of Mongolian culture. This script, based on the Uyghur alphabet, marked the first time the Mongolian language was written down, paving the way for a rich tradition of Mongolian literature and scholarship. So, while it's easy to label Genghis Khan as a bloodthirsty conqueror, it's important to remember that he was also a revolutionary ruler. His innovative approach to trade, communication, and cultural preservation had a far-reaching impact that transcended his time. While Genghis Khan is often remembered for his conquests, his innovative approach to rule left a lasting legacy on the world. What does it mean to leave a legacy that echoes through the centuries? This question is perhaps best answered by examining the life and impact of Genghis Khan. Born a nomadic child on the Mongolian steppe, Genghis Khan rose to power and established an empire that stretched from Eastern Europe to the Sea of Japan. But his legacy extends far beyond the borders of his vast dominion. The Khan's rule had profound long-term impacts that continue to shape our world today. His conquests led to the spread of culture and technology, bridging the gap between East and West. From the Chinese silk looms to the Arabian mathematical theories, Genghis Khan's empire became a melting pot of diverse traditions and innovations. Moreover, Genghis Khan was instrumental in establishing the Silk Road, a network of trade routes that connected the East with the West. This flourishing trade route not only exchanged goods but also ideas, philosophies, and knowledge. His reign fostered an era of economic prosperity and cultural exchange that the world had never seen before. The political and social changes initiated by Genghis Khan were equally significant. He introduced a system of meritocracy, which allowed individuals to rise in ranks based on their skills and abilities rather than their lineage or social standing. This revolutionary approach to governance reshaped the social hierarchy and paved the way for a more equitable society. But the legacy of Genghis Khan is not without its shadows. His military campaigns were marked by ruthless violence and mass destruction, leaving a trail of devastation in their wake. Yet despite the brutality of his reign, Genghis Khan's influence endures, a testament to his extraordinary leadership and strategic prowess. From a nomadic child on the Mongolian steppe to the ruler of a vast empire, Genghis Khan's life and legacy continue to captivate us, centuries after his death. The echoes of his rule can still be heard today, serving as a reminder of the indelible mark he left on the tapestry of human history.